For people who are on the fence about having kids, but you ended up having kids, I want to know, stitch this or comment down below.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So this woman asked her audience to share whether they regret having kids or not. And of course, people stitched her video. So we are going to listen to all the stitches, and at the end of the stitches, I'll leave my own comment. Please stick around.
For people who are on the fence about having kids, but you ended up having kids, I want to know, stitch this or comment down below. Do you feel happier and more fulfilled? Do you feel different in a good way now that you have kids? Or like, what is the feeling? Like, do you regret it? Are you glad that you had them? I know that people say whenever they do have kids, even if they were on the fence, that like you love your kids no matter what, obviously. But I do know that some people do have regret, and it's a really hard thing to talk about. Like, obviously you love your kids and you're going to do everything you possibly can for them. But like, I just have never been the person that's like, oh my God, I can't wait to have a family. And I'm so on the fence about it. And there's some days where I could see myself having kids, and then there's other days where I absolutely cannot. And I hear all the time people who don't have kids, how happy they are that they didn't have kids. But then, like, it's just such a big decision, and I don't know. I feel like my identity is a huge thing. Like, having my identity change from just being me, an individual person, and then all of a sudden being the caretaker and the mother of somebody is like a huge, I just feel like that mindset shift would be crazy for me and would honestly kind of screw me up a little bit. And just the responsibility and the energy and the time and the money and everything that goes into having kids, it's just so much. And it's such a big decision. And I just want to know. I want to know. How do you feel now that you have them? Would you do anything differently? I want to know, stitch this or comment down below. Do you feel happier?
Listen to me. Listen to me now. I'm going to try to say this in a way that doesn't hurt my kid in 20 years, but also gets my point across. Do I regret having my children? Absolutely not. I love them, and I wouldn't do a thing differently. If I could go back in time and choose to not have kids, not knowing my children, absolutely, I would not have kids. The problem is both paths are extremely fulfilling. I was very fulfilled on my own. Having children opened my eyes to a love I've never known before. But you can't have both. You gain so much by having children, yes, but you lose so much. And I was not prepared for my identity to be completely gone. Everyone's situation is different, but no, I do not feel more fulfilled. I feel fulfilled in a very different way.
Do you feel happier and more fulfilled?
So I have a unique perspective with my child not having been planned. I was actually talking to my husband about this today. He was just saying he could never imagine the amount of joy that this child has brought our lives. Like, he can't even fathom it. The day-to-day of our lives is so happy and so joyful, and we feel so fulfilled. And I feel like before that was simply not the case for me personally. I was always waiting for the weekend, waiting for the next trip, waiting for something. Rarely was I enjoying the day-to-day, and that has changed 1000%. Above all else, above the joy, above the fulfillment, I feel like this child has pushed me in ways that have just made me better. I have reached financial goals, professional goals with him as the motivator, things I wouldn't have taken chances on myself prior with professionally. And then, like, I bought a house at 23. I only wanted to do this for him. And now to say that I've achieved that, I owe it all to him. My husband has gone back to school full time to become a computer engineer. We are leveling up, all thanks to him. And it's beautiful and it's amazing because we weren't sure if we wanted children, and the decision was made for us. I think any parent can say, like, I can't imagine my life without my child, but I don't know who we would be without him, and it wouldn't be as good of a version of who we are.
For people who are on the fence about having kids, but you ended up having kids, I want to know, stitch this.
Yes, yes, and no. I found out I was having a baby 3-4 months before I got married, and a month before I went on my hen do. I'm not a massive baby person. I'm a bit more of a baby person now, but before, if there was an option to play with a dog or a baby, I would always choose the dog. I just didn't really get them. So when I had a baby and I had to care for it and like change its nappy, put clothes on them, and just do everything that's involved with a baby, I had never done anything like that before. And you know what? It's fine. It's great. It's amazing. We accidentally made a full human being. Like, that is absolutely amazing. And I am so grateful of the journey we've had, because touch wood, like, she's really healthy. Like, I got pregnant without really realising. I had a good pregnancy. I had a good labour. She breastfeeds. Like it's amazing. She's amazing, and I don't want to look like I'm slagging her off. But equally, I'm not one of them people that's like, it's the best thing in the whole entire world. Like, it's not. It's not the best thing in the whole entire world, but the fulfillment, I think, makes it the best thing in the entire world. So before I had a baby, like, I was like gym, like exercise, like hair, nails, lashes, all that shit, like tan. Like, I wash my face and clean my teeth and maybe put a little bit of bronzer on in the morning at like 6 o'clock, and then that's it. I don't look in the mirror all day. And I don't care. Like, I don't care how I look. Like, I want to look presentable and I like to look nice, but I would just much rather just not do that. And that's just me, like, personally. Like, good on you if you do whatever suits you. This is me, not you. This is me. Hormones. So people will say, can't be that bad because you have more than one. Labour can't be that bad because people have more than one. No. Hormones make you do that. And without those hormones, we wouldn't be here. Like, at like 3 months, like when she was 3 months old, like I would have had another one then and there. Like, I would probably still have another one now. And mine doesn't sleep. I think you're fine if you get one that sleeps because you're doing something you've never ever done before. Like, you might have cared for babies before, looked after them, you might be a nanny, all that shit. But it is a completely different thing when you've got them 24/7. You can't edit on a Stitch video. Not that I can work out, so I'm sorry if I'm rambling, which I am. So yeah, your hormones will get you through. Your hormones will do it and you'll be fine. Once you're on the roller coaster, you can't get off the roller coaster and you just have to keep going. But I would always say, you do you before you have a baby. Like, I'm so glad we all went travelling before we like had a baby. We're travelling. We used to go on holiday a lot. We used to do stuff with our lives and I'm so glad we did. Like, if you want to wait, you want to wait. But I personally, I'm so glad. I've done it at 27. I'm hopefully going to have another one before I'm 30. And then, like, we're relatively young and fun and we've got the energy for it. But I think I probably would have waited a bit longer and, like, just live my life as much as I want. Well, that would be my advice. Live your life and then have one. People say, like, your life doesn't start when you have a baby. Like, they're probably not going to be talking about this on the video, are they? But yeah, that's my version of motherhood to you.
You were on the fence about having kids, but you ended up having kids. I want to know, stitch this.
Here's the quick backstory. I wanted kids. My wife did not. Before we got married, we had a conversation. I basically said, I could be happy not having kids with you. And she said the reverse. That if she was ever going to have kids, it would be with me. Great. We got married, 5 years go by. She's almost 40, which was the cutoff date that we decided. So we say, fuck it, let's try. And now here we are. We have an 18-month-old, and this is where we're at. All joy and no fun. It's the title of a book and a saying or whatever, and it very much encompasses the experience that we've had. We had a really rough first year, early pregnancy, complications, NICU, small baby, feeding problems. It was very stressful up until 13 or 14 months. And at this point, the difficulty of parenting shifted from the actual baby and keeping them alive, which we could do, to ourselves and us as a couple. And that has been so much more difficult than actually like parenting itself. The good news is it has gotten easier on all fronts every day, even just a little bit. And I can see a future in the next year or so in which fun comes back into our relationship and to our lives. And that's a hard selling point to tell someone, to tell you that you may not have very much fun for 3, maybe 4 years. And I know there are plenty of people that have kids and they love it and they would tell you the exact opposite, but that just hasn't been our experience. So would I do it again with the knowledge that I currently have? Yes and no. Here's the no. I still maintain that my wife and I could have a very fulfilling and full life without children, except you would need to completely erase all of the knowledge and the existence of this tiny human from my brain. If that could be done, then yes, I could do a child-free life. And the reason the no is obviously because we love this child, but also this experience has been way more impactful and different than anything else in my life. I can't even compare it. I had cancer when I was 19 and I had like a 50% chance of living, and that doesn't even come close to comparing how world-altering this experience has been. And now that I know, I don't want to unknow. I will say, we've asked this question of some of our friends who we feel like had similar outlooks about children, and pretty consistently, they have said something along the lines of, I started to love being a parent, and I started to have a lot of fun at around the age 3 or 4. Again, I know, that's kind of a hard selling point. What I'm about to say is not helpful, but it sounds like you could have kids, and the beginning part might be really hard, and you would feel like you've lost a lot of yourself, but you get it back, and ultimately, you wouldn't regret your decision. And also, you could not have kids, and you would have a great life, and you wouldn't have any regrets. And I think both decisions are valid. There is a tiny, small, little silver lining to being on the fence if you decide to try and have kids, and that is that you are okay if it doesn't work out. And so the act of conceiving a child becomes so much less stressful. We have so many friends that desperately wanted kids or are trying to have kids, and they are struggling, and it is not a fun experience, and it's just stressful, and that sounds awful. So I guess there's that. I don't know. Good luck. You'll be okay either way.
Having listened to all the experiences and opinions from different content creators, kindly share your thoughts in the comment section below, because having kids, it's expensive, it's stressful. Understand all these people, they can't come out and say they regret, but all they can give an excuse is we could have done better. So it's important, before you have kids, decide whether you want them or you don't want them, because it's so stressful. You give up most of your dreams, most of your activities, so that you can become a better parent to your children. Now, if you were that person who were full of life, full of activities, then you decide to have a child. Imagine that, meaning all of your activities has been cut off. You need to take care of the child, you need to take care of your partner too. So it's so stressful. I understand all this. So it's important to sit down and look into the future before you have kids. Either you don't want kids or you want kids, because at the end of the day, you and your partner, you need to agree on one thing and follow it. Anyway guys, this is my opinion. Kindly share your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you so much for being part of this conversation.